Hey there. Hopefully, everything is all sounding as good as possible. I apologize for the technical difficulties. If you were able to see the previous stream that's no longer on here, for whatever reason, my audio is muted. So here we are. Audio is now working properly, and now we can get started with the stream. Hopefully, you are all thirsty for more when it comes to Home Alone 2 or just more Home Alone. Uh, but I'll just let some more people arrive and chat for a little bit, like I did with the last stream before I get started with the Home Alone 2 live commentary. So hey there, RJ. Hey there, DJ. Hey there, Greg. Hey there, Acres of Movies. Hope everyone is doing well. I know it's almost Christmas. The holiday season is maybe not almost over, but it's definitely nearing its end. And I hope everyone is doing good. Hey there, Chaz. Hey there, Julie. Yeah, let's give it another shot. Home Alone 2 is one of those films that over the years I've definitely gotten a bit conflicted on. I grew up with it like I did with the first movie. I used to watch it all the time as a kid, and I definitely do have some nostalgia for it because of that. Uh, but it definitely is a movie that has some issues, especially when it comes to sequelitis. I definitely don't agree with that it's a better film than the first, like some people do, but that's just me. Hey there, Predmator. Hey there, Big Ideas. But it definitely does have some really great moments in it. Anything with Tim Curry is tremendous. Yeah, Predator should check out the second one sometime. If you like the first one, I definitely think there's definitely some enjoyment to be had out of the sequel. Yeah, not quite as good as the first, but definitely better than the other entries. I agree with that, Drew. Now, just to give people a heads up, this isn't going to be like the only holiday movie themed sort of thing that I'm going to be doing for the rest of this month. I have a lot of other requests that are of Christmas movies and stuff. So it's going to be like Christmas until January. I just thought to give you a heads up, so it doesn't come out as a surprise. When I'm like uploading reviews of like Santa Claus the movie or Merry Christmas Drake and Josh after Christmas. Um, I'm gonna try to get as many of those up before Christmas, but I got some pretty long shifts at work, so coming up, so I'll do my best. But yeah, I got that coming up as well as some other, non-Christmas themed stuff. I even have another Let's Play. So if you like those videos, I got one coming up with Batman Returns on the Super Nintendo. And in January, I'll definitely do a Christmas, post Christmas episode of Physical Media Madness. I got a lot. As you can see, you can already see that which is the 4K set of Game of Thrones, which I haven't seen that show yet, but I got a good deal on the 4K set for Christmas. And it looks amazing, by the way. Yeah, I know, Drew. Yeah, Matt did just review that one. I haven't seen that in years. I actually remember watching it when it premiered on Nickelodeon. Because I was a fan of Drake and Josh. So I know Matt doesn't really care for Drake and Josh. It's not really his thing. But I haven't seen it in years since it like premiered, but I honestly think I might not mind it because I actually do like Drake and Josh. So Yeah, the rest of the Home Alone movies, like Home Alone 3, Home Alone 4, Home Alone 5, Home Sweet Home Alone, we didn't need them and they were just bad. Um, just waiting for a few more people. Sorry, I don't have any special guests. I think I saw a bunch of people join in and they'd be like, "Oh no, he's just by himself. I'm gonna dip out." Um, depends. I don't think it works out well, but that's just me. Yeah, they sure did, Greg. They sure did. Definitely. If you're looking for like maybe a little bit something different for Christmas, like some kind of, Christmas fun when it comes to a movie, I highly recommend Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris. Like I'm gonna be revisiting that one soon, and I think that's a gem. I think it's really funny, especially Anna Faris. Like she's never been funnier than she is in that, and it's just an example of a movie that was just poorly advertised. And yeah, I think it's a genuine holiday classic. Like that's a new Christmas classic for me. Just Friends. But, yeah, Predator, yeah, Drake and Josh, yeah, the jokes are childish. Yeah, it's for kids, so a lot of that humor was funny for me when I was a kid. Like, oh, a little random, but like now as an adult is kind of cringe. So I'm kind of expecting that when I watch that movie. Um, but yeah, I got the movie brought up here. I'm gonna do the usual sort of thing with the commentaries where I'll do a countdown from, 3, 2, 1, then I'll say press play. And then if you had the movie, then you could press play and then watch it along with me. Like I did last time, I'm just gonna cycle back to the chat throughout the film. Um, so yeah, let's get started. So I have the movie brought up here. It's actually of all things a German 4K rip that I got a hold of because it has a 4K in Germany, not in the US, but in Germany for some reason. But yeah, 3, 2, 1, pressing play. So we had the 20th Century Fox logo here. Still a nice looking logo. Just not the same when it's 20th Century Studios. Got John Williams's iconic score once again, but this time with a nice addition of the snow falling with the opening credits. Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern. They're honestly a big part of why this is still at least a decent, entertaining sequel. And of course, Macaulay Culkin coming back and Catherine O'Hara and John Hurd. So yeah, Lost in New York, which is a better title than Home Alone Again, which is that was a title that they were thinking about, like Home Alone Again. Like, no, I don't need that. Rob Schneider. Apparently, Rob Schneider was not the first choice to play that bellhop. It was I think it was like there were some other people like Paul Rubens who was considered. Unless I'm thinking about the Tim Curry character, I could be getting them mixed up. The score by John Williams is still good, but, like, it's pretty much just the same music as the first movie, like a lot of other elements of Home Alone 2. There's that big, massive mansion again. So, Christopher Columbus returned as director. He actually said something that this was better than the first. I disagree with him. So, speaking of the whole Florida thing, there was a fan who made like a fan-made idea slash script for Home Alone 2 and sent it to Fox, and it had the family going to Florida and Kevin getting lost in Disney World, and there's actually a lot of similarities between Home Alone 2 and this fan's idea of the movie that he sent in, which I find to be interesting, but also kinda lame. It's like, did you just, like, rip that guy's idea off and not pay him? Some way to teach a some way to treat a fan. Ugh, that's horrifying. Inflatable bozo? Rather have the Donald Duck slippers. Nice bit of foreshadowing here about the Plaza Hotel. That talk boy, by the way, it was just a prop, it didn't work. They did make talk boys though for people to buy, for merchandise for Home Alone 2. But what's funny is, all the kids, they could, like, get a free toy from the toy store, at for being in the movie, and Macaulay, he just wanted the talk boy, but he just got the prop version that doesn't work. That is such that is such a twisted joke. I did not get that as a kid. Uncle Frank basically threatened to castrate, Kevin there. Earlier, you had that whole bit where the clock got reset, 'cause, Kevin's dad messed with the plug. Honestly, that's a really lame way for them to miss the plane. Maybe not as lame as his Uncle Frank singing, though. But, yeah, the whole thing with, like, the clock going on, I'm like, "Why?" They had enough time that they would have been able to check and see that the clock is off. So, like, that makes this writing even weaker if you ask me. It's like, this wasn't, like, last minute, like, right before they went to bed. Like, they had enough time. They went to this recital. They would have had time when they came back and would have seen that the clock is not working properly. Yeah, I'm referring to that. No, I think it's a castration joke. That's what it is. You'll grow up never feeling like a real man. Then you got Buzz messing with Kevin here. Is another instance of like really bad writing. I definitely feel for Kevin even more here because like, what is Buzz even doing? And I'm like, Kevin had every right to do that. And then what happens next? Kevin getting in trouble for this and Buzz getting no repercussions or punishment whatsoever. That's just another instance of just having to copy the formula of the first movie. Ugh, why are you so freaking dramatic, Buzz? Yeah, that's totally believable apology. Give me a break. That gets a little golf clap for that performance there, Buzz. Oh my god. Oh no. He's drinking Coke this time instead of Pepsi. Did you notice that? Yeah, he was a little yeah, he was an asshole in that. They definitely are. Totally a bunch of dicks. Hey there, Cyber Warrior. I just it's just so frustrating because you're like, what are Kevin's parents doing here? Can you be a parent and like actually punish Buzz for his shit? Okay, that line is like I think that explains a little bit why Kevin just stays in New York is because it's his vacation. Yeah, should have said he was sorry. Sorry, he didn't hit him harder. Oh no, the wet bandits escaped. Didn't that guy do the same thing in the first movie too? Yeah, you did. The same like sped up camera bit too for them in a frantic hurry. Where the first film it made sense. Here it's just like that was the only clock that was off and it set everybody else off too. I like this bit here though, because it's like, all right, We're not gonna exactly do the exact same thing here. We're gonna have a little bit of a callback there. Yeah. Oh, they're the sticky bandits later, I think. No one knows that there's the sticky bandits yet. Actually, I like RoboCop 2 more than Home Alone 2, but that's just me personally. And then you have this bit like Kevin has to stop in order to replace the batteries on his Talk Boy. And then there's this guy right here who has the exact same clothes as his dad. Like it's a little more contrived this time around. Same haircut too. Like, come on. Yeah, lazy script. I'm not Mad Myers fan. I'm just it's just how I feel about the movie. I could still have fun with it though. Also here, like how did they not know Kevin did not board with them at that very moment? Like they were so hyper aware of Kevin at the start, making sure he was in the van, and then all of a sudden they're not. Like even that bit where it's like, I need to make sure everybody's boarding. And they're just gonna let him on the plane too. Like, yeah, movie logic. I mean, it's I know it's a kids movie, but like, come on, like Home Alone wasn't that contrived. It had its moments, but it wasn't like this. I love that look. He's just like, whatever. Works for me. That's a little nice. That's a nice little touch there because he didn't get to go to France the first time, so now he's talking to a a Frenchman. I knew this Tom Petty song was in here. I was like, I was hearing that on the radio, and I'm like, was that in a Home Alone movie? Christmas all over again, and yep. I'm not that tall. I'm like 5 foot 11 and a half, almost 6 foot. So it wouldn't be that constricting. You have everything. You have everybody. Are you sure about that? And I agree with people where they're saying like, "Why is this Home Alone like still called Home Alone? It's Home Alone 2, I know, but why? He's not alone at home. Can't be alone in a giant city." Uh-oh. I love how Buzz doesn't even he just stands there with his he just doesn't grab the bag. Man, he manages to be a dick just by doing stuff like that. That's funny. I gotta give Catherine O'Hara some credit for that. That was quite the reaction. Well, then I'm in better shape than I think, Freddie, when it comes to the dating pool. You got Ali Sheedy, who I think she was in the running to play Kevin's mom, actually. Well, now you get to have your vacation, Kevin. You got your Christmas wish again this year. I like that Kevin switched up the look there at least. Love this shot. I like this song too. Scenes like this, I definitely feel hold up. This is like a great advertisement for New York. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who saw this and they wanted to go to New York just because of this movie and scenes like this. Nice usage of a zoom here, zooming out, showing the whole skyline. At least the cops aren't as incompetent here. I love the look on the cop's face. He's like, what is so funny about this? Like, you lost your kid a second time. To be fair, the cop is right. It is pretty unlikely that he would just somehow wind up on a plane in New York. Typical greeting from a New Yorker right there. I can only imagine how gross and just smelly it would have been to be in that trailer. Yeah, fish. No, it's fish. It's fish. To be honest, like, yeah, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern are really what makes this movie. Arizona. More foreshadowing here with the birds. I think that was the bird lady there too, which honestly makes this reveal not as creepy. And I don't know, I was never creeped out by the bird lady anyway. It's not like what with Old Man Marley in the first movie. Yeah, I can't imagine anyone else playing Harry or Marv either. They tried to do that with the Home Alone sequels, like Home Alone 4. Where Fred Stewart was playing Harry but dressed as Marv for some reason. Or he's playing Marv but dressed as Harry. It was like, what? Make any sense? This is a good repeated gag in the movie with this lady. I mean, I don't know. I don't blame him. She's pretty hot. But that's not how you talk to a lady. So the Plaza Hotel, for years they actually offered, oh, here he is. There's the now gonna be two-time president. He only let them shoot in the hotel if he was allowed to cameo in the movie. Says a lot if you ask me. Total narcissist. So yeah, the Plaza Hotel used to have a Home Alone experience where you could ride in a limo, you get like copies of the movie, stay in a hotel room that's like the hotel in the film. Nowadays, he would just use AI. Why does Kevin McAllister sound like he's in witness protection or like he's on Unsolved Mysteries and they're hiding his identity? That's another bit. Like, why isn't the hotel person immediately suspicious? Kevin sounds like he took the slow-mo drug from Dread. That actress is like the perfect person to cast as a snooty lady. Like you look up snooty in the dictionary, you probably see her face. Okay, so notify the credit card companies immediately. But they don't find out right away. He even says it worked in front of the clerk. Yeah, that is definitely true. What kind of idiots do you have working here? The finest in New York, for sure. Immediately, Tim Curry has his guard up. That is totally the kind of response a kid would have, or a lot of people would have today, because they'd be like, "Who the hell is Hoover?" They'd be like, "Oh, the vacuum guy." I think when I was a kid and I first saw this, I didn't know it was Herbert Hoover, the president. It is a nice room. It's a lot of snacks and goodies, but like way too much jelly beans. Why are there like 10 jars of jelly beans? I love this bit. He doesn't even ask for a tip, he just moves his hands. I think as a kid, I didn't even know he was motioning for a tip. I just thought he was just making a hand mo he just wanted something. And then Kevin gave him gum. And, like and I was like, "Okay." I mean, he asked for something and he got it. Yeah, Tim Curry and Rob Schneider are really good in this. Like, Rob Schneider is, like, arguably at his most tolerable in this movie. Did a cannonball, but it wasn't really even that big of a splash. The ventilator, Muttville Massacre, Angels with Even Filthier Souls. So Home Alone 2 was doing the whole, like, "Let's do the first film again in a sequel," long before it became really popular, like, all the homages, like, "Hey, remember this in the first movie? Here it is again." But it's a different gangster film this time. He's even eating ice cream again. So I guess he's seen it before? So if Kevin couldn't watch these movies before, like, how did he watch these films so that he knows it enough that he can actually quote what he's saying? And why is he closing his eyes? Like, he's already seen this. He's acting like he already saw it, and he's closing his eyes again, like in the first movie. No, I do not like Home Alone 2 better than the first one. I like the first one more. Hey there, thanks for the super chat, Bobby. Have you seen Christmas in Many Colors, Circle of Love with Dolly Parton? No, I haven't. That one doesn't ring a bell. But thanks for the super chat. And we got Tim Curry being understandably suspicious, looking for clues. And then you got Kevin once again showing his mastery of like puppetry here with the bozo inflatable. Man, he really inflated that thing up pretty quick. I guess we could add some supernatural powers to Kevin's repertoire too, with how quickly he was able to set this all up. I don't know if he was obsessed with scaring him away. I think he just wanted to catch him in the act because he didn't trust him. That look on his face. Tim Curry is such a legend. He didn't even say a single line of dialogue there, and he cracked me up. And then the physical comedy there. His knee. Ah, Tim Curry. Terrific. Yeah, I know, Roger Ebert, yeah, he liked it the most because it was more realistic than Home Alone 2 and other reasons. He's the same guy who said Die Hard was like a two-star film because of the guy from the Breakfast Club, his character, who's like the police captain or whatever. His appearance in that movie, his scenes were enough to make that movie 2 stars. I agree with a lot of his opinions, but there's a lot of stuff that he's done that I'm like and a lot of things that he said that I just don't get at all. Hey there, Bobby. Thanks again for another super chat. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of 3, but I will definitely take it over 4, 5, and 6. And if you didn't see 6, you're not missing anything. Wait, what was Buzz doing in that photo? Did he have Kevin? Was he holding Kevin up by the legs in that photo? So this is John Williams trying to recreate the success of, Somewhere in My Memory, and it's not bad, but I don't think it's nearly as good. Another instance of the sequel trying to imitate the first film. I do like the transition shot there with his mom. That's great. That's great. That's a good payoff to that gag. Hey there, Freddie. Thanks for the super chat. The sequel to Home Alone 2. I actually picked up the collection recently on one of my annual holiday trips to some local shops. So Tim Curry is just has the perfect exasperated, annoyed look. I could, maybe for sure. The payoff for the joke was that Rob Schneider was like, "I already have some tip left over." Shows Kevin the gum, and then Kevin's like, "No tip," and then he has some money in his hand. This is pretty awesome, to be honest. Get your own personal pizza, get to drive around in a limo, which this is an experience that the Plaza Hotel provided around Christmas time for years until like 2008. I also find it interesting. It is funny all the Coca-Cola product placement. First film was a lot of Pepsi, and so I guess like Coke, like no, we'll be the ones this time. And this shot, I love it. Like it just shows that Tim Curry could have been a great Grinch. I like that touch too with the light going off. Bingo. The way he's treating the birds, another bit of foreshadowing there. It's like, better be careful how you treat those birds. They might get their comeuppance later. He's a kleptomaniac. Like this is just confirmed at this point. Like he cannot help himself. Just stealing random shit. Not even anything that's that valuable. Earmuffs, scarves. No self-awareness whatsoever. There's nobody dumb enough to do this. We are. Here we have the toy chests. I know a lot of kids thought this toy store was amazing. Like, I was always underwhelmed by this toy store. Yeah, it looks great, but all the toys that are presented are like the kind of toys I would not have wanted or would not be interested in at all. Like, where's the action figures? Like, where's the video games? Like even as a kid, I was like, "Oh, that's cool looking," but I'd rather go to KB Toys. I'd rather go to Toys R Us. Yeah, that's an instance where Macaulay's line delivery wasn't the best. I can see why some people say his performance is kinda hit and miss, like, that wasn't very good. "This is the greatest accident of my life." Now here's Duncan. Now originally, they wanted to cast Gene Wilder, but Gene Wilder, he felt like, it really wasn't worth it because of Another You being such a bomb. He didn't really wanna do another movie, and so left the door open for this actor to play this role. And he does a good job, but in all honesty, I would have loved to have seen Gene Wilder in this. I think this is supposed to be Mr. Duncan, right? And, well, then why doesn't he just say, "Hey, I'm Mr. Duncan. I'll be the one that'll take all this stuff to the children's hospital." Why does he have to be more why does he have to be so mysterious about it? I well, I mean, that's something I think I always wondered as a kid too. Like, why is this a twist that the old guy is Mr. Duncan? Like, I don't really understand. That's sweet, but if you got a turtle dove ornament for Christmas, would you be happy about that gift? There you go. But why all that? Like, I just don't it just kinda like, do we really need to have that be a surprise? Yeah, that is the same actor. So Eddie Bracken, who played, Mr. Duncan, he was also in an episode of Tales from the Dark Side called, Case of the Stubborns that had Brent Spiner in it from, Star Trek: The Next Generation. I love this moment here. Very smart move by Kevin. In a crowded place, your kid just starts screaming in front of these weird guys. I'm surprised there were people that turned around and kicked their asses, to be honest. They're trying to do something to that kid. Get him. Get him. Hey there. Thanks for the super chat, Freddie. Doug Bradley and Robert England as the robbers. That would be different. That's for sure. I just realized Kevin stole again. He's still a criminal. He stole those pearls. They're still so good when it comes to the reactions to falling down and all the slapstick. Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci, the MVPs. Tim Curry's a co-MVP. I love that shit-eating grin. Oh, oh, stolen credit card. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Thanks for the super chat. If you make a playlist of beginning is logo at the end and playlist is end credits between action scenes and talking scenes for different movies in the playlist, would you call it a movie? I don't know. I have to think about that. I love her stance. Like it's gonna do anything. Like, could you have possibly tried any worse there? Tim totally wanted to say you little shit. Yeah. You committed credit card fraud and you stole those pearls. You're a career criminal now, Kevin. That's a good idea, Kevin. Honestly, I like this moment using the gangster movie more than the first movie. Even though it's kind of the same thing, I think it's funnier. Yes, so Afraid you're mistaken, sir. A cliff. No, no. It's a lie. On your knees. I love you. That's great. They all do it in unison. I think it's even funnier because it's just like multiple different actors reacting to the audio instead of just Marvin and Harry, Joe and Daniel. And just how sincerely Curry says that line too. Stay in your rooms. There's an insane guest with a gun. That's a nice touch. He still has the scar on his hand. Was the Undertaker? And by on ice, they mean kill the kid. They're not playing around this time. Yeah, I know the pizza guy too, but it really wasn't the same kind of thing. Because, no offense to the pizza guy, he's not Tim Curry. I love that bit too. He did it. Did what? Strong female character right there. Again, Marv cannot help himself. I guess he's taking the hats off to try to see which kid it is. Chrome men coming to the park and don't leave alive. That dub is really funny. I can only imagine being in that position where the only channel that works is one that's all in Spanish or a different language. You can't understand anything. Thanks again for another super chat, Freddie. If a sequel's made nowadays, it'd be Kevin suffering from PTSD from the previous two movies, and he kills himself, and his random sister is the star. You know, that isn't that far off, considering how a lot of sequels are nowadays. Make him into a loser who ends himself, and then his sister is the star. I agree with the criticisms about like the family not being involved more, just being on the sideline again, trying to figure out where Kevin is, and they find out where Kevin is, and then the mom goes again. Like, why couldn't it be the dad this time? I agree with that. That would have switched things up a little bit, which would have been nice for this sequel. And I love Catherine O'Hara, but like, give John Hurd some time to shine. The whole stuff with his abandoned house is like easily the best parts of the movie. I can't be the only kid who probably like fast forwarded to this part. Sometimes we're like, oh, I just want to watch Home Alone 2, but I don't want to watch any of the other stuff. I already know what happens. I just want to see the traps. I want to see the abandoned house stuff. This scene in Central Park, though, I mean, this is pretty eerie. Like, this is right up there with the creepy furnace. If not even scarier, because it's real. This isn't Kevin's imagination with all the creepy aspects of Central Park at night. It's the real thing. And he's right up there with that skeleton cabbie from Ghostbusters. Yeah, Acres of movies. I've seen Deceived. It's a pretty good thriller. Goldie Hawn's great in it, and John Hurt's good as the villain. I wouldn't either, Kevin, especially if it's like that. Still not scary. Weird, but not gonna scream my head off scary, especially after you saw the cabbie and all the other creepy homeless people and the two hookers. But to be honest, like the way she acts too is kind of like, let me hover over wordlessly and reach for your leg. I don't blame you, Cyber Warrior. That's some scary shit. Another instance of trying to recreate the formula of the first with the bird lady. Just honestly, I feel it's pretty shallow and just uninspired. It's not Brenda Fricker's fault. She did the best that she could. Rats with wings, do your things. Oh, it's a different movie, but that's how a lot of people feel about pigeons, to be honest. Carnegie Hall. Now, if I was, enrolled in my choir class in high school, or at least in this particular choir class earlier, I would have had an opportunity to sing at Carnegie Hall and have a whole trip in New York. But because I wasn't in that particular class at that time, I didn't qualify for that. So by the time I was in that class, I qualified for going to Disneyland, and we sung at Disneyland and went to Disneyland and Universal Studios and had a, bit of a, I think we went on a tour bus, with to see like different places in Hollywood. But I wish I got to go to Carnegie Hall. I wish I got to go to New York. That would have been so much more memorable and just a really cool experience because I'd already been to Disneyland and Universal Studios. So that would have been my first time going to New York and seeing a show and singing in Carnegie Hall. That would have been really cool. She's homeless, but she's got a pretty nice place up here, to be perfectly honest. Nah, I don't think you needed Old Man Marley to make a comeback. I don't even think you needed this bird lady character anyway. Like I don't think it really adds a ton to the movie. And to be honest, like you could just have a more extended scene of Kevin setting up the abandoned house or something, or if you have Kevin's dad being more involved, you have more stuff with him trying to figure out where Kevin is or trying to figure out stuff in New York. I think you could have done that or something along those lines instead of just a rehash of Old Man Marley with the bird lady here. Because it's like the same thing, like having a conversation with this person that's an outcast and then having a heart to heart and then getting them to change their mind on some things, like, or change their mind about people. And nah, I no, I don't want Tim Curry as a Birdman. I just Tim Curry is the hotel clerk. That's what is the right fit for him in this. Yeah, John Candy, I think they originally had plans for him to come back, but I looked on IMDb. One part of it is, I guess maybe just didn't feel like it was a good fit or didn't want to do a sequel. Another part of it I saw on IMDb, and I don't know if it's true, and I really don't buy it, is that he refused to do it because he wasn't paid enough in the first movie. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like John. That really does not sound like John to me at all. Oh, I'm not going to do Home Alone 2 because I didn't get paid enough for the first film. A movie that I did as a favor, to John Hughes. Like that doesn't really track. Also, I have to admit this scene really hurts the pacing of this movie. Like the movie had a pretty good pace up until this point and then completely draws to like a screeching halt with this really long drawn out wannabe sequence that's just trying to emulate what the first film did with Old Man Marley, but with the bird lady.
Excuse me.
And I definitely don't feel that Macaulay had the same chemistry with Brenda either as with Robert in the first. Yeah, I read that. I read that it was going to be Cousin Fuller. I think also there was something involving a teenage Kevin. We just didn't need it. Like the second film already showed that things were starting to get a bit thin story wise. And if not everybody was going to come back again, like what's the point? We don't need it. We don't need another one. Yeah, I agree. We didn't need any more after this. I've heard people say we didn't necessarily need this one, and I can understand that. But then we wouldn't have Tim Curry and that really fun scene in the hotel, and you wouldn't have the traps in the abandoned house. But I could see where people are coming from though. Sounds like a song for a cult. Is this the Scientology theme? Here we go. Now Kevin's pissed. Same getting ready music by John Williams, but it's still epic. Kevin's just lucky that this was still open. Operation Ho Ho Ho. Tool chest. Yeah, the score's touched up a little bit, but it's very, very much structurally the same. You have to admit though, like how Kevin gets Harry and Marv to even deal with him again. It's kind of like, why did they just go forward with their plan anyway? Like, why do they even have to go to this house? That would be a different. That would be very different. Can you imagine a crossover between Home Alone and Die Hard? Home Alone 2, Die Harder. I think Die Hard 2 didn't it come out the same year too, 1990? No, this didn't come out in 1990. The first one did. This came out in 92, I believe. Yeah, They pretty they definitely are. This is where you coulda had the bit where Kevin's dad goes. Yeah, Kevin in Nakatomi Plaza. "Merry Christmas, you filthy animals." Or like, "Yippee-ki-yay, you filthy animals." Oh, yeah, now I remember that Kevin wrecks their plan, so that's why he throws the brick in the window. So that's why they go after him. But at the same time, like, they know what's gonna happen next if they go after this kid. So why they're like, screw it. We'll just find some other plan to do. If we mess with this kid, we're just gonna get hurt and we're gonna get caught again. Was he? I don't think that actor is the same guy you're thinking of. I don't it's a different actor. So Alexander Godunov. He's not Vigo. Ghostbusters 2. Kevin just lucked out that Marv and Harry are just so vindictive that they just quit. Okay, he sets off the alarm, but they have so much money. Couldn't they just like get a plane and go fly to Rio or some shit? Like, also, why wouldn't the place already have cameras anyway? They're not wearing any masks. That's one strong board and sent him flying 50 feet. All right, he's dead. Harry is dead. I love that. He's like, I twisted my ankle on that board after Harry flew into the air and landed on the roof of a car. Made it even funnier if Joe Pesci like gave a reaction. Oh, I'll twist something. I'll twist that kid's nuts off. Yeah, I didn't think about that either. Cyber Warrior. Yeah, like you should have like a spare key or something. Oh, thank you, Sean. Fred Meyer. Yeah, I got it last year. Oh, I loved Handel Stern's wordless movement there. Go right ahead. Fred Meyer's more like a supermarket, kind of like Target, but it's a supermarket. Cross my heart, hope to die. This is not even that elaborate, but it's still so hilarious. Eight. And then just it keeps missing. It keeps missing Harry, and it keeps hitting Marv every time. The Joe after nobody throws bricks at me and gets away with it. Daniel Stern with the high pitched voices, man. Just gut bustingly hilarious. Just the way he's walking up the stairs, dude. Oh man, what do you think's gonna happen? Yeah, that one's got a smart. Can't Joe's trying to swear, but he knows he can't. Fricka fricka rabble rabble rabble. Oh dang. I love this. Reach the top. Ooh. Sound effects too really help. It's cartoonish, but that's what the first one was. It's almost like they make it even more cartoonish here, even more like Looney Tunes, but it still works because of the acting by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern, and Chris Columbus's direction too. Very lively directing in these scenes. My bag of tools. I have to be honest, I would say the trap scene in this is better than the trap scene in the first movie. I like that scene in the first film, but, like, there's just so much more here. There's less traps that are kinda like, "Oh, Saran wrap and, like, glue and feathers," like, there's less of that. Stuff like that. Wow, what a hole. I didn't mind Bushwhacked for what it was, I didn't love it, but I had some fun with it. Daniel Stern. Oh, he just stops there for a second, then keeps slipping again. Uh-oh. Yeah, if they were smarter, they wouldn't even gone through all of this, but you had to. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're waiting for with the Home Alone 2. And, like, it delivers if you ask me. When it comes to these trap scenes, like, it definitely delivers. Like, if you're thirsty for more, you get it, and then some. I even like that callback where it just turns the light on, it's fine. So much pain. Just does not stop. Here we go. I love how his voice gets higher with each dial skeleton. Turns the dial up. The higher it gets, the higher Stern's voice gets. Kevin is just straight up torturing him at this point, electrocuting the hell out of him. But it's so funny. It's messed up when you think about it, but it's still really, really funny. Oh, they're just partners in crime. They're not brothers. Joe Pesci here. How he doesn't notice his head is on fire. He looks in the mirror. He did it. Oh, and then just this moment right here. Oh, I think that's a better moment than the one when he got his head lit on fire in the first. He's still shaking. Exactly, they're asking for everything. Also, at, like, the same time, like, do they secretly like this? Is that why they keep going through all these traps? Are they really thirsty for more in more ways than one? I love Daniel Stern's excited face there. "I'm coming up!" Uh-oh. Like, he was so thrilled that it seemed like it was normal. I wonder if that was even planned. It almost sounds like Daniel Stern just sneezed after that take, and they kept it in. After it's like, "I'm gonna kill that kid." I don't know. I don't know what they suffered. Probably pretty painful. I mean, with this one, like, what did you expect? That wasn't a very good setup you had there. It's not very stable. Ooh. Have to give a special shout out to the stunt guys too, who did all these stunts for Marvin Harry. Just phenomenal work by them. I was like, "Hey, you didn't lose any teeth." No, I don't think the old bird lady is a better character than the old man. I definitely like the first film more, but I will say the trap scene in this I like more than the first. This is great. Where they're, like, acting like they got hit by the paint cans. And they're not even being subtle about it, like, they're so obviously faking it. Right in the schnoz. It's just a great setup for this bit right here. Oops. Then they go through the hole in the floor again. That's 3. That's, like, the perfect way to describe Home Alone 3, and this is 4 right there. Is there a 5th and a 6th? A tool chest. This is one of my favorites. It's so funny. And, like, you know it's coming too, but it's just the way that never! Just the way that, Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci act, even though they know what's coming. Or they don't quite know we know what's coming, but they don't. It's like they can't quite figure it out yet.
Ah! The sound of a tool chest falling down the stairs. Oh. It is pretty high up, but I'm kinda surprised Kevin was really scared there. He vanished. Why would he just vanish out of thin air? Nice night for a Nick. Suck brick! Your aim sucks, Marv. Kevin with Daniel Stern's voices, man. He's so funny in this. What, soak a rope in kerosene? Christmas. Oh, man. I have to admit, this is even improvement over the bit where they're on the rope and then Kevin cuts the rope that was tied to the treehouse. Like, here it's like it's on fire. And it fall all the way down. Oh, man. And more of the cans. Varnish. Ugh. Home Alone 6 was actually not a remake, it was a sequel. Like, it's in canon. Kevin has his own, security business, home security business. Buzz is a police officer in it. Man, Kevin, you were lucky you didn't get hit. That is some really fake looking ice, I have to admit. I always thought that when even when I was a kid, it was like, "That doesn't look like ice, it looks like shaving cream." What do you mean ice? Sure you are. Why would that gun even work if it's all clogged up with varnish? Yeah, I know. Buzz is a cop. Sounds like a mistake. It's a pretty savage line there by Harry. Never made it to the 6th grade. Doesn't look like you're gonna either, kid. Then we have the bird moment here, like straight out of Hitchcock's The Birds. Apparently, one of the pigeons actually wound up in Daniel Stern's mouth. Like that wasn't planned. It just happened randomly. And he was like, that was just disgusting. Yeah, it would be. It's gross. You would think the pigeons are pecking at his dick, pecking his balls off, given that reaction. Yeah, that does explain a lot. He never made it to the 6th grade. Bad guys saying they'll kill me. Shut up. You have the right to remain silent. Again with this nicknames. Sticky. Yes, even the way that Kevin, does it. Somebody saves Kevin just like the first movie. Instead of it being Old Man Marley, it's the Bird Lady. Also sets up something to signal the police. So it is very similar to the first in that regard too. Yeah, I know. I don't get that either. How the hell did Marv become Fred Stewart and then get a wife? Especially after how hard that those pigeons pecked at him down there. Surprised he has anything left. He's definitely very resilient, that's for sure. It's pretty good performance there by Catherine O'Hara. This is a pretty epic setup for the Christmas tree there at Rockefeller Plaza. Oh yeah, I know what it is. It's my Hitcher art. I need to replace the tape. It's been falling off, so I'll fix it. I appreciate it. I've been putting them on my wall with tape, and the tape isn't strong enough. It's not strong enough to hold up Rucker Hauer. I wouldn't say that. I don't think she's tuned out. She's doing the best she can with what limited role she has in this. It's just the same thing as what she did before. It's still nice to see those two, but at the same time, would have been nice to have seen that scene with his dad. Yeah, R.I.P. John Hurt. Awfully generous of Duncan's toy shop to get all these presents. I mean, yeah, did stop the robbery, so there's that. So I mean, that's the least he could do. Ah, take it easy on the Coke, Fuller. Oh, damn. It's like 4 cans. Yeah, The Good Son was pretty good. I mean, Kieran Culkin's not bad, but definitely not on the same level as Macaulay. So I don't think that would have worked very well if he was a star. He probably ended up alone a third time. What kind of attempt of a whistle was that, Buzz? That was pathetic. I was kind of nice, but you're still a dick. That was so awkward. Just thinking about this, like, how far away is she from the hotel? Wouldn't they be like, "Oh, where's Kevin? Kevin's gone." Like Kevin just ran off to go find this bird lady after he was alone in New York and his family is back, and then he just runs off. In all honesty, he would probably forget her. Like what? Maybe not, but like I don't think he's gonna, you know, send her a Christmas card years later if she's still alive. Also, I think the way that he handled things with Old Man Marley was better. Just this look out the window and uh sees the old man reunite with his family. That's a good callback there. Gets gum again. Then you have the credit card statement, which to be perfectly honest, I'm like, who cares? It was $967 was 240 something. Yeah, like 1,000 or 2,000 something dollars. Like, why are you yelling at him? You wound up getting your kid lost in New York. He got he got lost again. You're lucky that he survived. So whatever, who cares? 967 back in 1992. Yeah, I looked at the bottom. I thought it was like 920 something and then it was added up. But still, like, that's a lot of money back then, but like still like that was all he could use. Well, how else is he gonna be able to, get food and do all this other stuff? So I really don't think it's that as big of a deal. And just another instance of trying to copy the first movie. I guess I must have stopped the movie every time after this because I don't remember this choral Merry Christmas bit. Yeah, they were paying for a trip for everyone to go to France. They could afford it, exactly. The interest, yeah, just pay it now. Then you don't have to worry about the interest. Yeah, I don't remember this music at all. I must have always just stopped the movie after the credits. I think it's probably because the version of the film I had was recorded off a cable. And I think maybe the recording stopped at that point. So I don't remember ever hearing this. Yeah, exactly. Back at square one. No, absolutely not. We don't need a Good Day to Die Hard Home Alone version. Even worse with Dad. Getting even with Dad is pretty bad. I don't know if anyone has seen that in the chat. That's not very good. That's definitely one of Macaulay's more forgettable films that he did during his prime. You want to talk about Macaulay on autopilot and just taking a paycheck? That's getting even with Dad. I know a lot of people said that about Richie Rich, but I disagree. And I like Richie Rich. I think Richie Rich is a fun movie. I would probably say the last great performance by Macaulay, though, in his prime was The Good Son, which is Honestly, the only reason why he did this is because his dad, who was his agent at the time, he was like, Macaulay's only doing it if you agree to like finance the Good Son and everything, or agree that he's going to be in the Good Son. Yeah, I think Party Monster might have been his last one. I know he also did Saved. He wasn't too bad in that. I've seen The Page Master a few times. I used to watch it a decent amount as a kid because I was into a lot of books and read a lot. I still don't mind it, but it's a bit of a letdown considering the premise. I don't really feel it does as much with the premise as it could have. But yeah, that's Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. That was a fun watch. I would say I definitely still like the first film more. It the magic of Home Alone, it just feels so much more genuine in the first film, less so here, but this still has some fun moments in it. Some solid direction by Chris Columbus, some good performances by Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern. Macaulay Culkin is fine. So is the other supporting cast members. The trap scenes were really great. Uh, Arguably, possibly even better than the first. Definitely, I would say possibly even funnier. Other than the tarantula scene with the crowbar, a lot of the other traps weren't quite as funny consistently as the traps in Home Alone 2. But yeah, it was fun. I would say I was a little harder on the movie the last time I saw this because some stuff didn't age as well, and I thought it was too familiar when it comes to copying elements from the first. But I to be honest, after watching this again, with after taking a bit of time after seeing the first, I would say I'm a bigger fan of it now. Like I don't love it, but I would say it's definitely more of an above average sequel than the average or below average film that maybe initially was saying it was when I realized so many different similarities to the first. Yeah, Chris Columbus admitted that. He was like, "Yeah, we don't really have a whole lot of ideas for this. Let's just do the first movie again." So, they knew what they were doing. So, anyway, I'll let a few other comments roll in here, and then I'll probably wrap it up for this live stream. I got some other stuff I want to get done before I head to bed. So yeah, Macaulay was in Party Monster Changeland. Oh man, I didn't know he was. I have never even heard of that movie. Okay, he was Kings. He was in a show called Kings. Another one I haven't heard of. Thank you, Cyber Warrior. I definitely feel I hit my stride a little bit more with this one. I looking back, I think the commentary for the first film was just not the best because I just hadn't done a live commentary before, so I just kind of didn't know what to expect. But here, I was more prepared for going back and forth to the chat and everything. So next time I do another one, I think I'll definitely be um, in a better spot. But yeah, until the next live stream or until the next video. Thanks for watching, and hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. And I'll see you later. See ya.